Venus Fridays, we're excited to be here with you again to talk about what's going on with the divine feminine over these 2 weeks. And just a reminder and to anchor us into where we're in the Venus cycle right now is Venus is in Aries still, soon to be changing to Taurus. We'll talk about that in a moment. But also, we're still in the third eye chakra gate, right? So we're still in this focus of our Venus and Aries individuality, protection, service energy of our what were we clearing around our vision, our perceptions, and how we see things in the world. So, what would you like to say now, Kate?
I love this. And one of the things that's happening at this gate is Venus is reaching greatest elongation, meaning she's farthest from the sun that she can get in the morning sky. And so she's reaching beyond, so the sun, she's as far as she can get. She's reaching out into the cosmos as far as she can. And that's happening on May 31st. And she'll be 46 degrees from the sun. And the most she can ever get is like 47.3. Sometimes they'll just say 48 degrees is as far as she can ever get, but I've never seen it. And all the years I've been looking at this, but and then I looked it up and it said, yeah, 47.3 is the furthest she can ever get from the sun. So this one's a pretty big elongation. Not all of them will be that far. And and it feels like a sense of independence. She's on her own. She's doing her own thing. And of course, she's still in Aries, so it's pretty perfect. And when she reached her maximum brightness was back in April when she was in Pisces. And so Pisces Aries cycle or Aries Pisces cycle of Venus, it's like she was brightest in Pisces. She's furthest from the sun in Aries. It's just another indication in all the ones that we've shared before, but here's another one. It really truly is a Pisces Aries or Aries Pisces cycle that Venus is in. And so she's making her furthest reach. She's moving out in, and it's very independent. So we could say it, greatest elongation, it's like the divine feminine is her heightened maximum expression and how we can honor that and value that and appreciate that. So that's happening, right? Like the day after we release this, right? This video. How cool is that?
Yeah, exactly. And this is a great time to, if you're an early bird, to get out and see Venus ahead of the sunrise because she is like the farthest away you'll see in the morning. Or if you're a late night person, you'll see Venus rise as well because she's so far away from the sun. And it's nice to take some time and just commune with that and feel into what does this energy bring for you and offer for you and inspire within you.
I love what you just said that because she does rise like, I don't know, 3 a.m., some ridiculously middle of the night kind of time because she is so far from the sun. So she's in the sky for a long time before the sky starts to lighten at this time. So that's very cool. Also, on the very next day, Venus is going to be conjunct Chiron and Eris. Chiron and Eris were exactly conjunct on the new moon on May 26th, but they're still at 25 degrees. They're just different minutes. No, they're not the same exact minutes, but Venus is going to come along and be exactly with them on June 1st. And Aries, 25 degrees Aries. So this is the warrior goddess, the divine feminine, who's here to restore cosmic order and justice. Chiron's about healing the wounds that are in the way of that. Eris is about shining a light on the chaos. And giving us the opportunity to see what might be in that's been hasn't what parts of ourselves have we not invited to be present, and how can we heal that? How can we heal the parts that have not been invited to be present, that we have dismissed, maybe we weren't even aware of, maybe it wasn't conscious thing, but somehow it just didn't feel like it was right. So how are we inviting all of that back? And of course, Aries is fierce and would love to make, create the space for everyone to feel safe and to feel supported and to feel accepted and valued. And so Venus being with Chiron and Eris at this time, oh, so good, so amazing. And Chiron and Eris only come together in Aries. Well, Eris has a 500-year orbit, 560-year orbit, and has been in Aries for 100 and some years, like 100, about 100 years, I guess. And it's going to be in Eris for another like 20 years. So this is the last time Chiron and Eris will come together in Aries for a long, long time. So the fact that Venus is getting to join them at this time is just so amazing.
And I think it's such important timing when we're talking about like the divine feminine and healing and stepping more into our power, which we're seeing all over the world, right? Even at the same time that's trying to get squashed more by the patriarchy, right? But that we can't be held down, like the plants breaking through the soil. It's like with this Chiron piece and coming into this conjunction in Aries specifically, it's like there's so much energy supporting us, like stepping into our fierce divine feminine expressions, being the strong, empowered feminine that we are. But that becomes right as we heal that wound, the wound that's been here for thousands of years at this point, and step into our power, like then we can use that medicine to help others, right? We guide others through that piece, that part, taking them to the next place as well. And it's just so empowering. I think of Chiron as being the place that like really can help us heal like that original separation wound, right? So I love that Venus is reaching this place in the sky with Chiron and
And
Eris.
yeah,
Yeah.
and what's the new vision connected to that, since it's at the third gate, third eye chakra gate, at at the time this is taking place? So what's the new vision and possibilities that then Venus and Aries can act on? Because of course, Aries is all about action, does inspired decisive action. What action do we need to take in order to make this real?
Yes.
To bring it into this reality as an experience. So, our co-creative process is through what we think, through what we're saying, what our words are, what we're invoking, and then what actions we're taking. And so Aries is all about the action.
I love that because it's like so much sometimes with astrology and these things can be these like esoteric ideals, but it is the action that makes the change and creates the transformation. So I appreciate you saying that. And then our next like event is then Venus is moving into Taurus on June 5th. So we have that divine feminine is shifting her archetypal energy from Aries into Taurus, which I think is so associated with the divine feminine of that embodiment, right? The earth sign, like landing into our physical body, the beingness of the divine feminine and the what it feels like to be in our body and use our senses and connect into and ground into the physical and connect with Mother Nature, which is such a vital part of the divine feminine journey. So that's exciting. Yes, please
That's
go
so
ahead.
exciting. So, yeah, Venus and Taurus, it's like, how do we open to receive the gifts and the blessings of this life in our physical being, to really experience that? We could also say sacred pleasure. Now, pleasure has sometimes been vilified, like you just need to work hard and suffer and so on, and then maybe when you die, you'll experience pleasure. That's the old perspective that has, it's like pleasure. Oh, well, that's but not evil. It's hedonistic, or it's like judged against if you're experiencing pleasure. But there is a quality of sacred pleasure that we are divinely uh I don't know, we have a divine birthright to experience the pleasure of what it means to be physical in a physical body and a physical experience in this reality. And so we just need to allow ourselves to experience that and to welcome it through gratitude, having gratitude for what it is and receiving the gift of what it is to be in the pleasure of our physical being.
Yes, well said. And I think it's an interesting time just to make the point of like, a lot of astrologers are like, oh, Venus is super happy in Taurus, and there's this resonant energy. And for us at Venus Alchemy, we think Venus is happy and has a place in all of the signs, in all of her expressions. We don't like to limit the divine feminine, especially like Venus to like love and relationships and money, right? Oh my gosh, that makes me crazy. It's like, how patriarchal can you be about the feminine? And so I love that, um, Venus really has a home in Aries where she is now. And then as she's shifting into Taurus, she has another home there that's not better, greater, less than any other home that she travels through of the archetypal energies. So,
Yeah, you're bringing up a good point because there's this idea of rulership, and we've had a lot of rules in our world. And I like to, being very Aquarian and Uranian, I like to go beyond the rules and say, what rules? Wait, can't they be guidelines, not rules? And to move away from that term of ruling, like Venus rules Taurus or Taurus is ruled by Venus. It's like, no, they might be resonant energies, might be a better way to say that. They might be, Venus might feel really at home when she's in Taurus, but it's not, as you said, not better or worse than any other place Venus could possibly be. And not more, less important either. It's not like she's, this idea of exalted or in detriment, or it's not a great place for her to be, or it's a really great place for her to be. It's like, no, every place she is a great place for her to be.
totally. Yeah. So if you have Venus in the signs that like you get those messages, reframe them. Try looking at like what is the gift of Venus in these different signs for you, because there's no way in the world that you came in here to have like a negative divine feminine experience, right? It's just about stepping into that power and opening the box. Here we are in Gemini season of what Venus in those signs means for you. And thank you for leading the way for us and helping us move away from this patriarchal focus in astrology, right? It's such an overlay we have to keep kind of pushing back against and opening our perspectives at our third eye chakra gate. So,
A new
yeah,
vision, yes, a new vision, and releasing the old ways. And it does sometimes take practice. Sometimes we can say, oh yeah, Venus rules Taurus, or drop back into the old ways, but then go, oh, wait a second, no, that's not right. Correct yourself
exactly.
in the moment. I've been doing that a lot with different things. So that, and then the final piece for us to talk about is the full moon in Sagittarius on June 11th. It's, well, actually, no, back up. Uh, Mercury and Jupiter are moving into Cancer. They're going to conjunct at 29 degrees Gemini, maximum Gemini trickster energy to remind us not to be so serious and to stir things up and have more fun and be more playful. And then they move into Cancer. And the reason this is significant and want to just plant the seeds is that Venus is going to catch up to Jupiter in August 11th, I believe, of this year. They're going to be together in the sky, and you're going to have an opportunity to see how much brighter Venus is than Jupiter. Because when you see them in different parts of the sky, it's like, oh, Jupiter's really bright. Oh, Venus is really bright. And you see them together, oh, Venus really outshines Jupiter. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to that, but just also because it's putting a spotlight on where the sun's going to be at the June solstice, as just shortly, a couple weeks after that. So, and then we have this full moon that's going to also lead us into the solstice, and it's extremely out of bounds full moon, meaning that it's outside the boundaries of the sun. And in certain places, like in Scotland and the standing stone circles, the moon can literally walk, it's considered to be walking on the land and rolling through the stone circle. Only at the full moon at this time of year can that happen. So it's pretty spectacular. But the other thing that's happening with that is the moon is so far south of the ecliptic, it literally covers galactic center. So that so it's like an occultation. It's like directly beaming to the Earth from the center of the galaxy. So spectacular. And it's in Sagittarius, so it's also reminding us that what's our vision? And here we are at the third eye gate of Venus. It's a vision, we could say maybe a vision quest full moon. In Sagittarius is about the vision quest, about the spiritual quest, about the quest for truth and the quest for meaning and the quest for understanding. So that's also happening at such a perfectly divine time with Venus expanding her vision at this third eye chakra gate, releasing everything that's in the way of that so she can have the vision. Whew.
Whew. A lot, just more amazing times, right? We're in such unusual times right now, and we're just grateful to be here with all of you and for you to watch this and let us know your questions, subscribe, jump in, anything, because we are just all about Venus here. Is there anything else you want to share, Cayelin, before we?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who also joins us with like the intention of this time. And when you're so even just hearing this, even if you're not doing something, you don't have to always be doing something. Taurus is about being, but it's just if you have that, if you're holding that intention within your being, you're joining, we're all joining together to increase the power of this possibility of this time to move into a completely new way of being here together on planet Earth.
Well said. Thank you so much. I love that. I love you.
Thank you.